So let's see what he has to say.
Well, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I offer an update on the case of Andrew Tate? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anyone in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of Andrew Tate, then move to my analysis. Emory Andrew Tate III was born in Washington, D.C. on December 14, 1986. He went by the name Andrew. His father was a chess master, and his mother was a catering assistant. Andrew has a brother named Tristan. The family moved to Illinois and then to Indiana. Andrew's parents divorced. He and his brother Tristan moved with their mother to Luton, England. This was his mother's hometown. Andrew's father taught him chess. Andrew started competing against adults in chess tournaments when he was only 5 years old.
Hit that dab, Tina.
His father continued to stay connected to Andrew through the game of chess when Andrew was in England. In 1993, Andrew's father told a newspaper in Indiana that he was in a position to turn Andrew into the next Bobby Fischer, but chess players didn't really make enough money for that. He wanted Andrew to pursue other interests. Andrew may have been a good chess player, but I'd be very surprised if he could have ever approached the performance level of Bobby Fischer. Many proud parents of chess players make that assertion about their children. They can be the next Bobby Fischer. This is like a parent seeing their son wearing a green jacket and saying they can be the next George Patton, or hearing their daughter read a speech in an unintelligible manner and saying she can be the next Kamala Harris.
Yo, hey, Dr. Grande be cracking me up because he be roasting people, but in an ever so subtle and monotone way. He'll say it like this so that you can't really pin it on him. Like, this dude is fucking funny and he knows he is, but he's saying it like so. Like he just roasted motherfuckers' kids. He's like, some of y'all got some dumbass kids, and y'all they're going to be the next Barack Obama. Like, sorry to break it to you, your kid's an idiot, but he's gonna leave some area for ambiguity. Goddamn, I'm smacked. I'm high as a motherfucker. He gonna leave some space for ambiguity. Let's continue.
Andrew ultimately gave up chess. He became interested in boxing instead. He enjoyed success as a light heavyweight fighter before briefly getting involved in mixed martial arts. He then retired from combat sports. In 2016, Andrew was featured on the 17th season of Big Brother in the United Kingdom. He was captured on camera hitting a woman with a belt, which resulted in him being kicked off of the show just 2 weeks in. Andrew and the woman in the video would later say that their actions were part of consensual sex. This incident made Andrew popular with a number of people, including those who identify as involuntary celibates, or incels. Andrew had produced a litany of controversial posts on social media, some of which involved racial and homophobic slurs. He also made a number of misogynistic comments. His new fan base found these posts during the Big Brother incident and made Andrew some type of anti-hero. Andrew appeared to embrace his newfound infamy and continued engaging in controversial behavior. Andrew claimed that depression was not real. He continued to make offensive statements about women. Many of the statements aligned with the incel ideology. He told stories that involved him physically harming women, like accidentally breaking a woman's jaw. And he started associating.
Now, the thing about Andrew Tate, again, like, it is that, whether it's him or anybody else, like, I don't know what type of evidence the Romanian authorities have on him, but what I do know is that he's been raided twice and now he's in custody. But also, is Dr. Grande's getting at, regardless of how you feel about Andrew Tate, he has a lot of videos floating around of him basically just openly describing just being a bad person, deceiving people, running scams on people, and then just like coaching people on how to basically pimp women in the webcam industry. Like there's a lot of services that women can use, like OnlyFans, or they can, use their own platforms to upload content and stuff like that. But basically, when Andrew Tate was like, he would openly say stuff like, you don't want them to have access to X, Y, and Z resources. You don't want them to know how the operation really works. You don't want them to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, Tina. I mean, I'm again, like that's what I'm saying. It's like when you really look into the guy, it's not that long before, again, you can just quickly find a video of him going back years where he's like literally openly describing how to sex traffic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whether you think that he did it, or whether you're one of the people that thinks like, oh no, he's just being set up for whatever reason. I mean, he's all over the internet, really giving damning evidence that's going to be used. I mean, if we over here on this side of the water have open access to that, then the prosecutors over there definitely do. And again, I don't know what's going to end up happening, but Andrew Tate's rise is done. I mean, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's over. And at the end of the day, he never really was talking about anything that no one's ever said before. You know what I'm saying? People have been saying this shit forever. He had been trying for quite some time to really become really very famous. And he really couldn't do it until he latched on to the incel culture, which again just shows a lot of the state of kind of people's emotional and mental health in society right now, that a motherfucker like this could become so famous because he's so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But, a lot of young people who follow him, they're just too young. They haven't lived enough life.
Stating with well-known conspiracy theorists, including Alex Jones. It appears as though Andrew was eager to cash in on his new notoriety. He established a business he referred to as Hustlers University, where he sold an online marketing program claiming that he could help people achieve high-income skill development.
Shit, Jazzy.
The program cost $49.
Unfortunately, I gotta hear about all these motherfuckers because of what I do for work, which is why I smoke a whole lot of weed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a proponent for the green leaf, for the ganja, because I gotta wake up and I gotta know about these motherfuckers, because I gotta talk about these people because they have impacts on society. There's like a lot of people, obviously normal people wouldn't know like what the fuck, like, I don't know what the hell really is in the manosphere and in the red pill community. But millions of motherfuckers are in it. And it leads to someone like this, being able to scam millions of people. And I mean, like, it's just interesting to look at, because everyone's talking about him because he really became that famous. It's not like people weren't just like bored and went looking for him. All of a sudden, he was in everybody's faces a lot because of the marketing strategy that he had. That's why everybody's talking about him. Otherwise, again, like, he's just another one of these guys. But this community of people who are just kind of like caveman misogyny, like, and scamming and the boisterous, like grandiose, I am the biggest alpha. Like, there's just, because we live in modern times and there's all this digital technology, we got to see all this shit. And you got to keep in mind that motherfucker, like, the first cell phone I had I was 14, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these kids, they 2 years old, and they know they on YouTube all day. They on these platforms all day. And when you young and you haven't lived that much life and you haven't had enough experience and time to grow and mature, it takes time to really make sense out of things. So yeah, no, seriously, guys like this. And again, that's an example of why people are even talking about this guy, because it's like, people who like end up running up in school, shooting shit up. You can guarantee that people like this, or it's this guy's content overwhelmingly that they're absorbing, because a lot of people will be like, oh, that's not all he says, but that's like 75-80% of what he says. And the rest of what he says is just like generic self-help, like, believe in yourself, go to the gym, like, don't give up. You know, like maybe sometimes you're going to need to spend some time away from the clubs and the parties to put in some work to build your foundation. Like you can find that type of message and very easily. It's not hard to find that, you know, so but again, let's just get into the rest of it because we actually got quite a bit
$99 a
of things to
month.
talk about because we're
It
going
was
to be
shut
roasting
down in
George Santos.
2021
George
after
Santos
being
is such a
compared
goddamn clown.
to a pyramid
Oh
scheme.
my God.
Andrew also had a webcam model business that he ran with his brother Tristan.
And again, like a lot of these young guys, and I'm seeing it, a lot of these young guys, like they'll be like, they're like really, really defending him. And it's like, this guy was just a webcam pimp. He ran a pyramid scheme and he's a clown.
He claimed to have
that's
earned
why
millions of
motherfuckers talk
dollars
about it.
running this business, which he referred to as a total scam. So we see that Andrew appears to have some insight. He recognized that his business dealings were unethical. Andrew had incredible, albeit short-lived, success on social media. He racked up billions of views before many of these social media platforms banned him for bad behavior, like promoting misinformation and hate speech. Through his online marketing program, he encouraged his followers to repost his content. This was a major contributor to his social media popularity. In 2017, Andrew moved to Romania. At this time, he was under investigation for various offenses related to sex. He stated that 40% of the reason he moved was because he thought that the authorities in Romania would be less likely to investigate those cases.
And again, he openly has said these things. So it's like, what are we even talking about? Like come on.
On April 11, 2022, the police raided Andrew Tate's mansion in Romania, as well as another property under his control. They found 2 women who claimed that they had been held against their will. This led to Andrew being investigated for human trafficking and other offenses. Andrew did not let his legal problems slow down his offensive statements and questionable business operations. By July of 2022, Andrew Tate was searched more times on the internet than the terms COVID-19 or Donald Trump.
What do you want?
I want a job that I don't hate. I want to do something that matters.
Exactly, Jazzy. It makes money, like, and they just get into this loop, and they're like, because again, this message doesn't evolve and change. You know, it's very simple thinking. Oh no, what's going on? I'm gonna fast forward to whatever he has to say.
Oh, this is Dr. Grande.
Okay, where
Today's
like right here. It's going slow. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It's oh well, I guess this is gonna be slow, which is fine because you know, again, we kind of get the gist of it. At this point, there's really not much new to say.